Hello, my name is Jigesh. Today I am going to describe about how you can have your Laravel Admin Dashboard built really quickly and doing all that admin scaffolding really quickly. This is really a time consuming process and monotonous process because you have to do it every time when you are building up a new application, and I have discussed this situation and scenario with many developers, and some of them have told me that they are just using their old codes and by just copying their old directives into the new one, and then they just clean up all their old codes, which I find really tedious process, and it's not even the right way to do it. Using the Laravel fresh is a kind of charm and we should not lose it. So basically this admin dashboard is built in Vue.js and using the Vuetify UI, as Vuetify UI is using the material design components. So it is really looking good and interesting, and also those who are new with the Vue framework or who are willing to learn this new framework, it is really good. And of course it is having all that modern features that it should be having. It is having all that scaffolding such as authentication done, it has guards defined, it has middleware defined, and it is also having one of the important tool, that is media library, because media library is really needed to manage your media and to resize your media even for your front end. So these all sort of things are there with this particular library, and the most exciting thing is that you can easily install this application via Composer. So you don't need to modify a lot of things, you just have to follow the steps that has been mentioned, just a few steps, and you will have your admin dashboard ready in your fresh Laravel application. Let's start doing that. So here is the page that you are seeing I have published on my website, and that download button will take you to the GitHub directory, which is located on the next tab in my browser. So basically these are the installation steps that you can see. These are straightforward. You just need to do Composer install, and then you have to add one class in config folders app.php file, and then you have to remove all the current migrations from your database folder. This is because I just want to make sure that there is no existing conflicts are there because of default migration Laravel is giving. And after you have done that, you just have to do php artisan vendor publish and just add a tag, add Laravel full setup, and do the force. This force tag is because I'm also modifying app kernel.php file as well to define the middleware. That's of course for admin authentication. So basically in this particular application I have defined authentication for admin, and also I have defined the guards for that. So basically this step is going to do all those background work for you. After that we have to run php artisan migrate. Once you have connected your database in .env file, you have to run php artisan migrate. This will create all the database tables in your MySQL database, and after that you have to run php artisan storage link. So this storage link is basically going to create a shortcut in your public folder, so that your media files such as images, PDF and videos will be accessible from the URL directly. And then you do npm install. Now npm install is going to install all your dependencies for your Vue application, since the admin will completely be in Vue and Vuetify, so you have to deal with that. So it's going to be excited if you are kind of Vue lover, and if you like to learn new platforms. If you don't know Vue, but if you want to start learning that, I think this is the best way to do that. You just install this library in your fresh Laravel application, and then from there on you start building your things from scratch, and it will be really amazing, I tell you. After that you simply have to log in into your admin. So let me just show you how your login screen is going to look like once we are done with all those steps. So this is basically the admin login out of the box you are getting, and once we are logged in, I will show you what exactly this application is going to give you. So pretty much like you see the static page component I'm giving. Also I'm giving the post and categories for blog component. So this is out of the box. You can see one blog post here, also you can see one category here, and you can also see how you can add this SEO and category information in this particular tab, and then you can go to post and you can see how post screen is going to look like. So you can see the basic content editor that you can see. This content editor is basically from Summernote, and this is really amazing. And also I have this media library, as I mentioned before. This is really exciting mode. You see, this is basically using the UP, and I'll show you once we are done with all that installation step. So let's start those installation step by closing this one, and I will just install fresh Laravel in my local machine. So let me show you my command panel very quick. Yes, so here we are. So I'm just going to in php composer.var, create project, prefer listings, Laravel Admin Dashboard. So this is basically if I'm just trying to install the fresh Laravel, and this command is going to download Laravel application in my local machine, and from there on we can install the library which I am talking about. Okay, so it has started downloading all the components for you, and once it has finished doing that, we can install our Composer library in that. So that will set up the whole admin dashboard for us, and from there on we can start adding more. Okay, let me add this one in my Visual Code workspace very quick. And so let me show you my Visual Code. It's having hard time loading. Okay, now you can see my Visual Code. So here is the fresh Laravel application. You can see that is typical. And let's go back to our documentation here. So first let's say composer require, as mentioned, the first step. So here I'm gonna do that. I have to copy the composer.var. So php composer.var require Laravel Laravel admin Laravel admin dashboard. So this is going to download this library for us and will install. So of course I am also using image intervention library to resize the images for media library, and this is really helpful package if you even want to use it in your Laravel without using this admin dashboard. I suggest that intervention package is really good, and it's really convenient. It is having some convenient classes and functions to resize your images and everything. So yeah, we are done with this step. Now the next step is something that we have to see. So now next we have to add this class into your app.php providers in your providers array. So I will quickly show you where exactly we have to add it. So first we have to config app.php, and let me put it down a bit, and you can see the providers array here. In that you have to add it here, and that's it. We have to go to the next step then. So yes, let's add credentials into .env file. So again, let's go back to Visual Studio and open .env. There we go. And I'm going to add database as Laravel test root, and my password is typically the blank one. So let me verify my password. I'm not very sure about that, so I have to see that. Okay, it will take a moment, please. Okay, so yeah, it looks fine. Let's move on to the next step. So the next step is delete all the migration table. As I mentioned before, I just want to remove any existing conflict with the users table, since this setup will also create a users table for you. So I'm going to do that. So let's go to database migration and just delete this too. And move on to the next one. That's about just we have to now publish. So what I'm going to do is I'm just let me show you my so let me clear it, and we have to basically PHP artisan vendor publish tag add Laravel setup with force. Oops, I forgot edge in publish. I guess that's not a problem, but yeah, still. Yeah, so you can see that there are a couple of files, or I mean many files actually have been copied in different places in your Laravel application, and that includes kernel.php file as well. Also your there are some object file, middleware file has also been copied by this application. So yeah, all set to go. Let's see the next step. The next step is we just have to run php artisan migrate. Let's do that. Clear php artisan migrate. This is going to create all the database tables for us. Yes, you can see that has finished creating. That's pretty quick operation. That's something I really like about Laravel, that you can manage everything from your command panel. You don't need to go at different places to create tables and to do various different operations. And then we have to of course do a shortcut for storage link. So basically I'm going to explain what this command is going to do if you are not aware of it already. So PHP, yes. So now if you go to public table, public folder, I'm sorry, you can see this storage. This storage folder is basically the shortcut of this storage, and that is required to access media library publicly. And next, yes, let's install the node dependency. So let me show you my so let's do npm install very quick. So here you can notice this VF folder. Basically this VF folder is the Vue application for the admin side, and this is actually the core application which is going to be used to develop further. And in our resources views folder you will see two new folder, admin and front. Yes, so this application will basically split everything for you, including your controllers, your views and your routes. So how you can see that? You can see app, HTTP and controllers. You can see admin controllers folder. So all the admin related controllers, your new controllers which you are going to develop further, will there be on admin controllers. And then you can also see the routes folder. In routes you can see admin.php route, and this admin.php route file is basically responsible for all your admin related routes, and web.php file is responsible for all your front-end routes. So this way I have splitted not only the controller but also the routes and also the views for admin and front. So you can see resources views and you can see the front and admin. So in admin we just have dashboard.blade.php file, which is having this default df element in which the view application will be rendered. So if you want to develop it further, you have to look into this vf folder. In vf folder you can see routes.js file, vf.js file, which is the entry file for this view application, and there is pages folder in which you can add your new pages. As you can see here, by default we have page and post folder, and we have list elements, add elements already, so you can quickly see everything, and you can start modifying or adding your stuff, or you can quickly learn how you can do all those things. So these dependencies have already been installed. Yes, they have been installed. So now let's see the next step. The next step says we have to run npm run watch. Npm run watch is basically going to create app.js file in development mode. So npm run watch. So this will run our application in development mode. So our application is now ready to be tested by going into the browser, but before that we have to run php artisan serve. So that will I'll do in the terminal. So let's go to current directory Laravel Admin Dashboard and run php artisan serve. So yeah, let's have a look of our admin dashboard now by visiting 127 admin. You just have to hit admin, and you can see the screen there. So now I will log in with the default email and password mentioned here. Oops. Boom. So we are here finally. We don't have any content or anything here, but if you want you can do some default seeding as well by running this command. This is of course optional if you just want to see some test data. I'll show you what exactly we are getting into the admin. So in the admin you can go into categories, and I'll add a couple of categories very quick. Hello world, first category. So of course this is having just the admin scaffolding, and we don't have anything for the front end. You have to utilize all these things in the front end, but it's very easy if you know the Laravel API, and if you know Vue, it's going to be really easy. In the admin you can use just blade file like typical Laravel. It's not necessary for you to use Vue in the admin as well. Vue in the front end as well. In the admin you have to use Vue, but in front end you are free to use Vue, or else you can use Laravel's blade files as well. First category meta, first category meta description. So this all action bar you can handle it by very easily. You can just check out how I did that in my files, and you can do it. And about how you can do all those things, I will describe more in details in next tutorial. In this one I'll just keep it very brief to this particular dashboard demo only. I will just add one more category, second category, second, and I'll just quickly add it, and I'll go to list. So basically these filters are also going to work for you. As you can see here, you can quickly filter the data, and that works with the paginations as well. So this is something you're getting out of the box, and this filtering and everything is really easy. I'm just going to show you a demo how you can do that and how easy these things are going to be for you. So you just have to go to app controller, admin controllers, and let me show you post category controller. In that you can see this keys array, that's for the listing. In it you can see that there is 3 ID, title and status. There are 3 things, so I will show you the browser. You can see ID, title and status. So you can notice that the status is having basically the switch. So how can you have switch? By just having switch as true. If I made it false, it will be gone, but I'll keep it true. So if you just don't want to have this title filtered, you can just do it false, and let's quickly test it in the browser. And boom, it's gone. Now let's put it on again. Let's do true, and it's going to show the filter for that title again. See, you can see that, right? And I'm going to remove this. Yes, so this switch is also working, this is also working. Now let's add a post very quick. You can post test title, or let's say hello world, very typical hello world content. I want to add metas or anything. You can keep it as draft, or you can even publish it. And here is a sort of good calendar. You can select the past date as well if you want. I don't know why people would do that, but I have observed many people would have such requirements to do. And here you can see the media library, which is of course I'm really excited about this because it's really a tough task to manage your media in Laravel application. Sometimes it becomes really tricky. It's not tough, but it becomes tricky. So I have uploaded this file, and I'm going to utilize this by just selecting it. You can see, and I can just quickly save it. And yeah, you can see I can even filter it here in the same fashion I did it for the category. So this sort of thing is going to be really useful for you, and you can build on top of that. I'll just give you a hint of where you can start with. To develop further, you just have to go to VF folder and see the routes.js file first. In routes.js you can see all that routes have been defined with the component. The component is basically you can call it in pages folder, or you can do it in components, wherever you are comfortable with. But I have done some benchmarking, and you can now focus more on your application. First time it's going to be a little bit time consuming to learn these things, but this is going to be, I can tell you that if you start doing this from scratch, it's going to take hours to do this sort of work, and doing it every time, as I mentioned before, becomes really monotonous. So hopefully this is going to be really useful for you, and please give your feedback in the comment section about this, and feel free to use this. Thank you so much for watching this.